So, the summary of this video, Cara Dune won't coon, so she's doomed. She won't coon to Black Lives Matter. She won't coon to the whole transgender issue, you know. So, you have the Dr. Phil of YouTube making a comment about this. And this guy plays both sides and rides in the middle of the road, and many times riding in the middle of a road causes car accidents on both sides, and this is an example.
This brings us to the controversy. In August of 2020, users on Twitter asked Carano to support the Black Lives Matter movement. However, Carano liked posts criticizing the movement. Later, Carano appeared to mock.
Well, guess because she likes posts that's criticizing the movement doesn't mean she's necessarily against the movement. Maybe she wants the movement to be improved, you know, constructive criticism.
Preferred gender pronouns when she listed her preferred pronouns on her Twitter profile as beep, bop, boop. She later modified.
I don't understand why this person, making fun of transgenders when she looked like the man in The Mandalorian. Like, she looked like fucking Xenon, the princess warrior, and China had a fucking baby, and it came out with her.
Her profile after saying that Pedro Pascal, a co-star on The Mandalorian, he actually plays The Mandalorian, helped her understand what the pronouns meant.
Oh yeah, by the way, Pedro totally mansplained to her about the whole transgender issue.
In February 2021, Carano posted a message on Instagram that appeared to compare the current treatment of Republicans by Democrats to how Jews were treated by the Nazis.
Oh my fucking gosh. I hate when people do this because you play down the absolute Holocaust when you do that. You're a fucking idiot. Anybody who plays that down, just because you're getting banned from Twitter doesn't mean that you can actually compare your struggle to millions upon millions of people in camps dying, being gassed, starved to death. Like, really, this is what makes me mad. Not the whole BLM thing, not the whole transgender thing. The actual playing down of people actually suffering in Holocaust camps. Like, come on, you're a fucking idiot if you actually does that. She deserves to get fired for this.
Disney issued a statement stating that Carano was no longer employed by them and would not appear in future Star Wars projects.
Of course Disney did this. Have you ever heard of Walt Disney and his opinions on Jews? Of course they had to do that. They had to save face.
The talent agency dropped Carano the same day. So the first question here would be, was Disney within their legal rights? So can somebody be fired for protected free speech?
The answer is yes. He goes through why, and he says that it's because the First Amendment only protects you from government regulating your speech, not independent free companies.
Left-wing extremists attempt to manipulate corporations by having them cancel political opponents.
I wouldn't describe actually getting people fired for saying something racist or saying something transphobic or sexist as manipulating somebody's company. Like, if I walk up to him and I tell him, hey, one of your employees say they want to murder all honkies and that they should nuke Europe. Do you think that you firing him is me manipulating you into firing him because he or she or they or them or X said this? That's not manipulation in my mind. So this is not manipulation. Actually being at fault for your actions, especially when you post them on Twitter, is not manipulation, buddy.
Among other goals, this is to convince the conspiracy theorist that they can dominate these companies. It proves that the companies haven't...
Hold on. I hate this. He thinks that cancel culture is conspiracy. He thinks that people who actually cancel other people because of their radical belief is somehow equal to conspiracy theorists. I don't think getting somebody fired because they sexually assault women or think that blacks are animals is actually equivalent to like conspiracy theorists who believe JFK was killed by fucking mafia or some shit like that. Like, I don't like, this is disgusting. And he does this because he compared QAnon, which is on the right, to like cancel culture, which is on the left, which is not even comparable in any fucking way. I'm gonna let him talk.
Grown so large that the population cannot control them. Disney essentially caved to left-wing conspiracy theorists by firing Gina Carano, who, based on her post about the stolen election myth, appears to embrace some right-wing conspiratorial thoughts. Disney was trying.
I don't understand how this is a conspiracy. Do you think that people actually believe that she said this messed up shit without any proof? Because she posted this on her Twitter and made statements supporting her ideas. Like, come on. And she even apologized, which you accepted. So where's the conspiracy in this? The conspiracy is holding people accountable to their opinions?
Trying to beat one type of conspiracy theory by siding with another. I think this speaks to an astonishing level of gullibility on the part of Disney and a lack of...
I mean, he could have made a point where he could have said, like, the left is against Karens who ask for your manager, but they do the equivalent of asking for your manager when you call these companies. That's a little... Now, that's a good, like little thing to say. Not... cancel culture is somehow equal to conspiracy theories. Like, if you try to cancel somebody for saying something racist, you're equal to those retards who think that 9/11 was pulled by the government and not Islamic terrorists. Like, come on, that's such a stupid fucking opinion.
Of knowledge about mental health and conspiracy theories. They simply just didn't do their research, or they have some really clear bias that's deeply rooted in their value system. Moving to the next question, was Carano actually fired for being a conservative as opposed to her actions?
I'm sorry, I don't think being like transphobic and also against BLM and saying shit like comparing yourself to the Holocaust, which is absolutely disgusting. Like, conservatives are the one who strongly support Israel, so I would think that they're the last ones to compare their struggle to the Holocaust. Like, geez, like getting banned on Twitter is equal to like being starved in a fucking camp. It's absolutely disgusting.
So what this question is really getting at is that Disney could have just chosen to fire Carano because of extreme statements, not necessarily because those statements were conservative in nature. Well, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know for certain why they fired her.
Good job.
Although I do have to question their judgment considering how they butchered the last 3 Star Wars movies.
Come on. This guy hates Star Wars. Gosh, he always does these cultural references, and they're corny as fuck.
Carano fired for being a conservative. I think that she probably was. Many people agree that one of the most offensive...
No, I'm sorry. She was fired for being a bigot. Just because you're a bigot doesn't mean you're necessarily a conservative.
Things that Gina Carano did was draw that comparison to Nazis. Therefore, if a left-leaning actor who worked for Disney did the same thing, one would think they would get fired too. Well, Pedro Pascal compared Trump supporters to Nazis.
Oh my gosh! Here's the most stupidest fucking thing. calling somebody you dislike a Nazi is not the same equivalent to actually saying that your struggle is equal to the Jews and Jehovah's Witnesses and mentally ill people and Romani people who was actually put in the camps, died of starvation, died of gassing, died of rape, died of murder. It's absolutely the ego that you have, the balls that you have to actually say that. You getting banned on fucking Twitter is not equal to actually dying in the Holocaust. It's fucking amazing. Like, it's like a woman saying getting dumped is equal to getting raped. Like, come on.
That really does seem similar to what Carano did, yet Pedro Pascal's job appears to be safe.
I think there's a difference between actually calling somebody a bully and actually saying that you're a victim of bullying. Like, you realize that, right? Like, you can call somebody a Nazi and it's not the equivalent to actually, like, it's easier to call somebody the perpetrator than it is to call somebody the victim. And for the most part, it's a more respectable level. Like, calling people actual Nazis. There's actual neo-Nazis. Like, there isn't neo-Holocaust survivors, fucker. There isn't, like, neo-fucking Holocaust survivors where they actually recreate the Holocaust camps.
Equal application of a standard makes it look like Disney is trying to tip the scale. They're trying to get involved on behalf of one side over the other,
Is he really equivalent? Is he really equating the idea of having the balls to call yourself, like, getting banned on Twitter and being fired is equal to actually being part of, like, a fucking genocide now? I think that placates and belittles the fact that people went through genocides, don't you think?
in my opinion, is actually insulting to both sides. It could be considered discriminatory against conservatives, but it's basically saying to liberals, you can't fight your own battles on merit, you need a big corporation to step in and fight them.
How about this? How about if you work for a big corporation and you say and you know you're going to get fired for saying some stupid shit, don't say the stupid shit. Keep it to yourself. Or create your own big fucking corporation where you can create clanny, like fucking where you can just say all types of shit without any consequences. Interracial marriage is genetic genocide. Just anything like women are not equal to men. Any fucking bigoted thing where therefore you can't get fired. But if you want to placate to a big fucking corporation and you know that your freedoms will be held down and raped, then don't get hired by a big corporation. Be the corporation. Don't get hired by the corporation. And I'm done. This is absolutely fucking stupid. And this shows you taking the middle ground, like taking the middle road, only causes car accidents on both sides. That's it. You can't be centrist on all issues. You have to take a side. And that's how I like to state. Bye.